Hi, this is Eltari, your math teacher, and today we're going to be discussing trigonometric identities. It will be fun and interesting. I also ask that you please subscribe to my channel and get more teachings on different topics in mathematics. Thank you. So for today, we're going to be discussing trigonometric identities. For trigonometric identities, there are certain basic principles you need to understand before we can go into these identities. One of these basic principles is the right-angled triangle. For a right-angled triangle, there are three sides, as you can see. The longest side is usually opposite the 90 degrees, and it is referred to as the hypotenuse. The other sides are the adjacent sides. The adjacent sides. If an angle is introduced in the right-angled triangle, as you can see, theta, this now becomes the opposite. This remains the adjacent, and the longest side is the hypotenuse. The position of the angle can change as well. If the position of the angle changes to this point here, this now becomes the opposite. This is the adjacent, and the longest side remaining the hypotenuse. So if you take a general view on the right angle triangle, when no angle is introduced, all the other sides are the adjacent. When an angle is introduced, one becomes opposite and the other adjacent, as you can see here. Having understood this basic concept here, we now need to go into the main trigonometric identities. But before we go into these trigonometric identities, a knowledge of the trigonometric ratio is also very important. One of the first ratios we need to consider is sine theta. And we know sine theta is usually opposite over hypotenuse. The next ratio is cosine theta. And cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. The last of these is tan theta. Tan theta is opposite over adjacent. It is also very important to have an idea of their inverses. The first inverse we need to consider is cosec theta. Cosec theta is the inverse of sine theta. Cosec theta is the inverse of sine theta. Sec theta is the inverse of cosine theta. One of the basic principles I use to hold this is cosec, which looks more like cos, is the inverse of sine, and sec, which one might want to see as similar to sine, is the inverse of cos. Then lastly, cot theta is the inverse of tan theta. Cot theta is the inverse of tan theta. Now we know sine theta to be opposite over hypotenuse. So cosec theta will be hypotenuse over opposite. We also know sec theta as the inverse of cos theta. If cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, sec theta will be hypotenuse over adjacent. If tan theta is opposite over adjacent, its inverse, which is cot theta, will be adjacent over opposite. Also very important is one to know that tan theta is sine theta over cos theta. So whenever you divide sine theta by cos theta, the value you're going to get is tan theta. Like I said, tan theta is sine theta over cos theta. Now, we know that cot theta is the inverse of tan theta. So cot theta becomes cos theta over sine theta. Anytime you divide cos theta by sine theta, you're going to get cot theta. Also, very important is one basic principle. Whenever sine theta multiplies sine theta, what you expect is sine squared theta. So know that sine theta times sine theta gives sine squared theta. In the same vein, cos theta times cos theta gives cos squared theta. Tan theta times tan theta gives tan squared theta. Cot theta times cot theta gives cot squared theta. Having understood these basic ratios, you can now move properly into the trigonometric identities. Having understood the basic trigonometric ratios, we can now move into trigonometric identities proper. The first trigonometric identity you need to know states that sine squared theta plus cos squared theta equal to 1. This is the first trigonometric identities. From this identity, we can deduce or form other identities. If you make sine squared theta the subject, sine squared theta becomes 1 minus cos squared theta. This is another form of identity. You need to understand very well that sine squared theta is 1 minus cos squared theta. Applying the concept of difference of two squares, which states that x squared minus y squared is x minus y and x plus y, I can also employ this concept in this, so that my sine squared theta can also be written as 1 minus cos theta and 1 plus cos theta, where this 1 squared is same as 1. Going back to the first identity, if I make cos squared theta the subject, cos squared theta becomes 1 minus sine squared theta. Employing the concept of difference of two squares again, cos squared theta can be written as 1 minus sine theta into 1 plus sine theta. So when solving a problem, 1 minus sine theta, 1 plus sine theta is same as 1 minus sine squared theta. 1 minus cos theta, 1 plus cos theta is same as 1 minus cos squared theta. Going back to the first identity, if you choose to divide every element by sine squared theta from the first identity, which states sine squared theta plus cos squared theta equal to 1. If you choose to divide through by sine squared theta divided by sine squared theta, and this as well by sine squared theta, sine squared theta divided by sine squared theta gives 1. Remember, from our inverse identities, we said cos over sine is cot. If cos over sine is cot, then cos squared theta over sine squared theta is cot squared theta. We also know that the inverse of sine is cosec. So the inverse of sine squared theta gives cosec squared theta. Just like I said, this is the first basic identity. This is the second basic identity you need to know. The second identity states that 1 plus cot squared theta gives cosec squared theta. Just like we got other derivatives from the first identity, we can also get other derivatives from the second identity. Identity tan squared theta plus 1 equal to sec squared theta can be rearranged in different forms. Making tan squared theta the subject gives tan squared theta equal to sec squared theta plus 1 crossing over gives minus 1. Employing the concept of difference of two squares again, sec squared theta minus 1 can be written as sec theta minus 1 sec theta plus 1. So tan squared theta can be sec squared theta minus 1 and can also be sec theta minus 1 sec theta plus 1. If I choose to make 1 the subject from the third identity, it means tan squared theta will cross over, giving sec squared theta minus tan squared theta equal to 1. Sec squared theta minus tan squared theta equal to 1. Again, employing the concept of difference of two squares, this becomes sec theta minus tan theta. Sec theta plus tan theta equal to 1. Rearranging, these are the basic trigonometric identities. A summary of all the trigonometric identities that we have derived is placed here for your perusal. Sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1. Other forms of deductions here. Second, 1 plus cot square theta equal to sec square theta. Other derivatives here. Lastly, tan square theta plus 1 equal to sec square theta. Other derivatives here. Having understood the basic trigonometric identities, we are now going to use them to solve problems. The first problem states, prove that square root of 1 minus cos square theta over cos theta gives tan theta. This is a problem posed. Generally, in proofs of this form, you start your solution from the left-hand side. So in trying to solve this, all I need to solve is 1 minus cos square theta over cos theta. So all I need to do is go back to my identity checks. What is the singular equivalent of 1 minus cos squared theta? Going back, you find that 1 minus cos squared theta is same as sin squared theta. So in place of 1 minus cos squared theta, I will write sin squared theta over cos theta. So as you can see, the long 1 minus cos squared theta has been replaced with sin squared theta. Now, the square root of sin squared theta gives sin theta. So, still over cos theta. The square root of sin squared theta is sin theta, the denominator remaining. From our basic ratios, sin theta over cos theta gives tan theta. We've been able to prove that the square root of 1 minus cos squared theta over cos theta gives tan theta. The second problem we need to solve states, prove that 1 over sec theta minus 1 plus 1 over sec theta plus 1 gives 2 cos theta cosec squared theta. In trying to solve this problem, all we are interested in is 1 over sec theta minus 1 plus 1 over sec theta plus 1. I know a lot of you have problem with fractions. This challenge is a fraction. Whenever you have to solve a problem in fraction, the first thing you are required to do is to get or find the LCM of the denominators. So the LCM of the denominator here will be everything sec theta minus 1 in a bracket sec theta plus 1. So each of the denominators become our LCM. In the basic principle, the LCM divided by this denominator means sec theta minus 1 sec theta plus 1 divided by sec theta minus 1. So what happens is the sec theta minus 1 cancels out sec theta minus 1. What is remaining is sec theta plus 1. Multiplying that by 1 gives sec theta plus 1. Plus the LCM again, sec theta minus 1 sec theta plus 1 divided by sec theta plus 1. Sec theta plus 1 cancels out sec theta plus 1, giving sec theta minus 1. Multiplying sec theta minus 1 by 1 gives sec theta minus 1. So, this gives us the simplified form. Simplifying the numerator, sec theta plus sec theta gives 2 sec theta. Plus 1 minus 1 cancels out. Going back to the denominator, Employing the difference of two squares again, this can be written as sec squared theta minus 1. Checking the identities again, there is an identity for sec squared theta minus 1. And the singular representative of sec squared theta minus 1 is tan squared theta. So this can be written as 2 sec theta over tan squared theta. While solving, it is very important to have an idea of your direction. Our aim is to arrive at 2 cos theta cosec squared theta. If you take a look at this, no denominator. It's just a straight expression. So I'm going to repeat this as 2 sec theta times 1 over tan theta, tan squared theta. And we know that the inverse of tan squared theta is cot squared theta. So this is same as 2 sec theta cot squared theta. So you see, the fraction has been expressed in a straight form. It is no longer a fraction. How did we arrive at this? Remember, I have 2 sec theta over tan squared theta. And all I need to do is repeat it as 2, then sec theta. The denominator becomes 1 over tan squared theta. And we know that the inverse of tan is cot. So it becomes 2 sec theta cot squared theta. Taking a look at where we are heading to, we have 2 aligning, cos sec, cosec squared, cot squared. So we need to do an additional work. This now becomes 2 times sec is the inverse of cos. If you can remember, sec is the inverse of cos. So 1 over cos theta times cot is cos theta over sin theta. So cot squared becomes cos theta times cos theta over sin theta times sin theta. Remember, sec is inverse of cos, and cot means cos over sin. Because of the square, we replicate them this way. So one of the cos down here cancels one of the cos down here, giving 2 is 2, and this cos theta times a fraction 1 over, you know, sin theta times sin theta gives sin squared theta. So what I now have is 2 cos theta times 1 over sin squared theta. We now know the inverse of sin to be cosec. So the work is almost done. It is now 2 cos theta, 1 over sin gives cosec squared theta. We've been able to show now that the sum of 1 over sec theta minus 1 and 1 over sec theta plus 1 gives 2 cos theta cosec squared theta. I believe you understand the basic principle. I'll advise that you subscribe to my channel to watch additional videos on different topics in mathematics, ranging from quadratic equations, trigonometric equations, polynomials, differentiation, integration, calculus generally. All you need to do is please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel and watch as many as possible. Thank you.